When did you know you wanted to be a writer?
I don't think I really knew until I was doing it. I never wrote. I shouldn't say never wrote as a kid. I didn't think I was a writer. I didn't think I could be because I wasn't like a typical reader. I really struggled in school. I spent a lot of time in the library, and I was always reading, but I didn't self-identify that way. So I was an English major in college, but I never took a creative writing class. I just didn't think it was for me. I didn't think I was talented enough or good enough. And when people are like, well, I have a talent for writing, I'm like, I never have said that ever. And I've never felt that. I think I have a talent for being honest and for finding, what makes characters and people tick in psychology and why people do the things they do. And so that's the thing I'm most interested in. It's the most interesting thing I'm most interested in as a reader. Also, it's what I'm always looking for. And so I think probably it wasn't until, so I sold Braced in 2015. It came out in 2017. So probably around 2009 is when I started to be like, I'm going to write a book. And I started to try to write a book. Before that, I was writing like personal essays and I was interested in writing, but I wouldn't have been like, I'm a writer or I'm going to be an author one day. I wasn't like ready to say that felt too scary and big and like not for me. Like I wasn't going to be in the club.
The English degree, was the intent to teach or just to read all the best books? Or?
So I've said this before, but I don't know if anybody would have heard this before. So I went to a small liberal arts school. And so I went as a theater major and I sort of like took some English classes. I took an English class my first semester and I had a great professor. So I just kept on taking English classes because this professor was so good. I mean, he just really knew narrative and the way he talked about story, I was interested in. So I just sort of got sucked into it. And I would have been a theater major had I missed doing one of the techs. Like we had to do like 2 different techs to be a major, like you had to do lighting or costume or stage management. So I did costume design as one of them, but then I just like never got around to doing the other one. It was like you had to do it on one of the shows and I never did it. And so I was technically would have been a minor, but I lost the paperwork. So, I mean, actually, that's okay. So I picked up the paperwork for records and registration. I got it signed by my advisor, and then I never handed it in. Like, probably still at the bottom of that car, which, like, somebody now is in some junkyard somewhere now. Like,
things have worked out, so whatever.
It's worked out fine. It didn't end up, like, mattering, but I feel like that is everything you need to know about what it feels like to have undiagnosed ADHD. It's like you do all the work. You get no credit for it, and then you lose the paperwork.
I've never been in a job interview where somebody asked me, what was your major in college? There's like, college degree? Can I call and verify it? Yep, great.
Yeah. No, I mean, I got what I need. I got everything that I needed out of it. I mean, I basically got to study theater and I got to study English and I got to study story. So, I mean, what's better than that? Yeah.
And do you still do any acting, any theater work?
No, I mean, to be honest, I did a semester at Tisch at NYU, like as part of, it was sort of like my study abroad. I went to Tisch. And that's when I took a playwriting class and I just found myself sort of writing dialogue in the back of my acting classes. And I was like, oh, if I'm doing this, then I don't want to be doing that. And so for a little while, I thought like maybe I would be a playwright. I thought I would, write scripts. I took a screenwriting class at another point. I love dialogue. I actually really love writing dialogue. It's one of my favorite things to write. It's like what pushes me to keep writing the book is I'm like, I'll just write a scene. I'll just write some people talking. So I haven't, since that semester, I haven't really thought about acting since then.
Of course, the nice thing about a first-person narrative is somebody's always talking.
Exactly.
So it works out nicely. And I've always thought that every actor should take at least, or sorry, every writer should take at least one acting course, or if you're that's not able to, you go sign up with your community theater, play somebody in the back with 2 lines,
Totally.
and well, how has that helped to shape you in creating characters?
I mean, I learned so much from method. I mean, I did a semester at Strasberg and I did a summer at Stella Adler. I never really understood Adler as a technique. I think it's like very musical, and I just never got it. But Strasberg has like a lot of it's method acting. So there's a lot of like you pick a song for your character and you pick there's all these different things that you choose, and I do that a lot. I will pick, depending on where we are in the book, I'll pick like a theme song and I listen to the song on repeat over and over and over again as I write whatever piece of the book I'm in. I use a lot of those qualities, a lot of those skills that I learned from acting, sort of the touchable qualities, like the things that as you're trying to build a character, you're like, what is this person feeling? And like, there's a lot of physicality to it. And I find that as a writer, I'm still doing that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, too. I think we were separated at birth.
Oh my gosh, I love that. You do that too?
Yeah, I've always got a theme song for a book that at the end of the year when Spotify shows me my playlist, there's always one that's like way above every other song on the list. Like, you listen to this nonstop. What's wrong with you?
Do you switch the song? Do you switch the song as you go through the book?
Yeah, I pick one per project.
Yeah.
And with the exception of the Banneker Bones trilogy, I was listening to Disc Wars from the Tron Legacy soundtrack for like 3 years straight.
Oh my gosh, we are like the same in that way. That's yeah.
So what was the theme song for Taking Up Space?
So I listened to a lot of Queen when I was writing Taking Up Space. And I like went back and forth through all of the greatest hits, really. And that was sort of a throwback too from when I wrote Braced, because I listened to a lot of Queen when I wrote Braced. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I can't tell you the other one because it's too embarrassing. And I always listen to some S Club 7 because that really like channels me back to middle school. Do you know S Club 7?
Sure.
S Club. I put that on, and then there's another song, but it's way too embarrassing. I just can't say it. I put that on, and I'm like, okay, I'm a 7th grader again. It's like